I'm doing a series on inflation. So, if your goal is to perfectly align your services and how you communicate with potential ideal clients, then you'll pay attention to this issue of inflation. I talk to advisors all week long. I am a financial advisor, and I'm telling you that not all financial advisors have a disconnect on this concept of inflation, but I would say most financial advisors haven't given this level of thought to something that ideal clients have identified in their mind instinctively as a significant problem. And in fact, this idea of inflation as a predictable loss in purchasing power is indeed the number one risk facing most of your ideal clients. So I'm doing this series so that you'll have a deeper perspective on this issue that is of great concern to clients. Sometimes I imagine my great grandfather. I'm going to take a little bit of a walk down memory lane. My great grandfather, and this is going to tie directly to inflation, he was the governor of Arkansas. He was born in 1855. So I never knew my great grandfather, but he was governor right after the Civil War. I like to play hypothetical imaginary thought exercises about him. I got to thinking, he was a lawyer, he was a prosecutor, he was a judge, and a congressman before he was governor. What I was really interested in was around his finances. How much did he make? How much did he spend? And sadly, there's not a lot of information on that. So the thought exercise that I like to go through is, let's say my great grandfather had earned over $1 million. Let's say he took $1 million that he had been saving in gold down to the bank in 1862, before the Civil War. 1862 is the first year that the Congress passed an act to create pieces of paper that we call money, that actually, if you came across these bills, maybe in an old Foot Locker that you discovered from back at that time, you could still deposit those dollars into a bank today and they would accept them. It was legal tender, established in 1862. So he trades his gold in for these brand new pieces of paper created by Congress, which they called greenbacks. He accumulates this $1 million in paper money, which he's proud of because he's proud of his country, and he buries these notes in this Foot Locker. And here we are in 2025. I'm at the family ancestral home. We're doing remodeling. I dig up this Foot Locker. I'm here looking at these bills that are still legal tender. I could walk into my bank and they'd deposit $1 million. Here's the problem. Back in 1862, $1 million purchased vast wealth. For $1 million back in 1862, you could have bought an entire railroad line, thousands of acres of farmland, or you could buy mansions in New York, Boston, and Washington. It's great wealth back then. Today, what does $1 million buy today? That same $1 million buys a decent suburban house. Now that's tragic humor, but it's also deadly serious. Think about your clients. The fact that they've accumulated wealth and they want to keep it. If they were to put their desires into words that were crystal clear, they would be telling you, I've worked hard for this money. I want to keep it. And what they mean is, I want it to buy as much 10, 20 years from now as it can buy today. The first objective is to stop the bleeding of inflation. So this is deadly serious for clients. Here's the point. Inflation is the apex risk that most financial advisors just shrug and say, what are you going to do? Inflation, prices are going up, it stinks, but it's just the way the world is. The paradigm shift that would help financial advisors actually have this conversation with clients who, down deep, they know there's something wrong. They notice prices going up. They know that their purchasing power is declining, but they can't quite put it into words. The point I want to make is our job is not to dismiss it, because actually it is not just prices going up and down. It's the relentless erosion of purchasing power. It's persistent. It never stops. I remember a client, she asked me one time, when are prices at the grocery store ever going to come back down? They've gone up so high. I had to answer the truth. Never. Inflation rate goes up and down, but the prices will never come down. So it never stops. It never reverses. So what can beat it? Think of the options. Where could you place money if your first thought exercise is, I want to find a store of value, a place where I could put my client's money and it would grow at least as fast or slightly faster than just inflation. You could put the money in equities of a well-run company, real estate, gold, Bitcoin. Bitcoin was designed for this specific purpose. The point is, there are not a lot of asset classes that you have to choose from, but all of them do share one thing: volatility. Equities, gold, Bitcoin, everything that actually is designed to be a store of value is volatile. It goes up and down at different rates, but it's designed to beat inflation, not each and every year, but over long periods of time. To beat inflation, you have to endure the roller coaster, and that's where I want to focus in this video. That's where the value of a financial advisor comes in. This issue, if properly considered by you as a financial advisor in a way that you can articulate this well with clients and new potential ideal clients, that's where you come in. Our real job isn't just asset allocation or financial planning. It's preparing clients for the ride. It's helping set expectations, preparing clients so that we can hold their hand through the down years. The only assets that can exceed the inflation rate consistently over time, they have good years, bad years, flat years. I'm more focused on the down years. What's going to be the behavior of the client when you've put together a perfectly sound financial strategy designed for the long term, but the biggest risk is inflation, and when there's a drawdown in the value of the portfolio that you've built for them, it's the client's behavior that we've been hired to help manage. We've got to remind them that when prices go down, if it's true that the asset is fine, the reason for purchasing these assets has not changed. What's changed is the psychosis in the short-term market and the inefficiency in the market in the short term to accurately price these assets. It's to hold the client's hand and calm them down during the time when the greatest risk is an emotional decision on their part to do the worst thing that they could possibly do, which is to sell excellent assets at a time when they frankly should be buying rather than selling. It's to make the point that the market's insane in moments like that. And we do that by setting expectations up front. We keep the client disciplined so they don't sell these excellent assets at bargain basement prices. Now that right there is an extraordinary financial advisor. So if you're serious about mastering this craft and aligning your services precisely with what affluent clients actually want, then I encourage you to join our community. TheMarkOfMastery.com is a community that I set up entirely of advisors who are providing comprehensive financial services to their affluent ideal clients. Clients have never been unhappier with their financial advisor. Now, I know you're convinced that your clients love you and that they're thrilled with your service, and I'm sure that's true. What I'm talking about is the fact that 82% of affluent multimillionaires confirm they are not getting from their advisor in terms of the actual work product what they expect and what they need. So they love their advisor, they trust their advisor, but over 50% of multimillionaires confirm if they could find a better advisor, they'd fire their advisor and hire you. So the markofmastery.com has a simple objective. It's to align what you're doing more precisely with the format and the expectations of what clients actually want. It's a data-driven strategy. The community is free, and you'll gain access to all of the advanced planning articles, content, videos, things that I've established over the last 40 years of being in this business as a financial advisor that I'm happy to share with our industry so that the advisors who are willing to step up and deliver this level of service to affluent ideal clients have all the information that you need to do that. So I encourage you to go to themarkofmastery.com and join us.